Hello students, welcome to Re-NEET mock test paper 3 discussion. I am your physics guide Biplab Sir. So we will be discussing in this session your physics paper from the question number 1. So I know that you might be thinking that we have to again write the paper, but there is a positive side of that you might get the easier question or the question paper which you are accustomed to. So let's discuss these questions, and I will also try to discuss the theory part if needed in my calculation. Okay, be focused, and let's start with the first question. In the nuclear fusion reaction, given that the repulsive potential energy between two nucleus is 7.7 into 10 power minus 14 joule. So the temperature at which the gas must be heated to initiate the reaction is nearly. Okay, so we know that if the reaction has to take place, then the gas should collide with such a kinetic energy which should be more than this barrier potential energy, right? The barrier repulsive potential energy. So what we can say that the kinetic energy of the gas is K into T, right? And that must be greater than this energy 7.7 into 10 power minus 14. K is the Boltzmann constant, right? So you can say that the average kinetic energy for each molecule, if we have studied the thermodynamics, then you must have studied that the average kinetic energy for each molecule is 3 by 2 kT, right? Temperature at which the gas must be heated to initiate the reaction. I think it is asking nearly, then it should be 3 by 2 kT. This 3 by 2 factor should be there, must be greater than 7.7 into 10 power minus 14. So in that case, in order it is only asking, even if you ignore this 3 by 2, you can find your order. So the temperature should be greater than 7.7 into 10 power minus 14 divided by 3 by 2, 1.5 into K. The value of K is 1.38 into 10 power minus 23. Now you can see the order. If I say 23 minus 14, it's 9, right? 10 power 9. And if I say it is 14 by 3, roughly about 5, right? So it is near about 5 into 10 power 9. If you ask me that what is the near option, which is only given that the temperature in order you have to calculate. So I will definitely mark option 3, right? And go to the next question. All right. Next question says that if ABC are unit vectors such that A plus B plus C is equal to 0, there should be a vector over this also. Then find the angle between A vector and B vector. Okay. So what can be the angle between A vector and B vector such that A, B, C, all of them when added, they are 0. I know that when the vectors have same magnitude, not only unit vector, for any three vectors having same magnitude, if they lie 120 degree with each other, then their resultant is 0. So 120 degree is equals to 2 pi by 3. 2 pi by 3 is the correct option. Question option 3 is your correct choice. Let's move to the next question. Okay, it's a question on diode. In forward bias, the resistance of each diode is 0, and reverse bias condition it's infinity. So we have some ideal diodes in the picture, right? The current I through the cell. What is the current I through the cell? If I say it is 0 and this is 20 volt, right? And this is 0, so this is also 0 volt. Now I can say that this diode is forward biased and this diode is reverse biased, right? So what is the current I through the cell? I can say that the current will flow through this diode, right? And the current will flow to earth like this. So it is as there is no resistance for this forward bias diode, current cannot enter in this, right? So this current should be 20 volt divided by 2 kilo ohm. Kilo ohm means 10 power 3. So the answer is 10 into 10 power minus 3, it's 10 power minus 2 ampere, right? It's 10 power minus 2 ampere means 10 milliampere, right? That should be your answer. 10 milliampere is your answer for this question, right? I think you have understood. Next question, talking about a organ pipe and its frequency. The frequency of a first overtone of a closed organ pipe is equal to the third overtone of an open organ pipe. What is the length of open organ pipe? So if you remember, closed organ pipe, in closed organ pipe, the first overtone of a closed organ pipe, it looks like this. The first overtone in a closed organ pipe looks like this. I am talking about the displacement waveform. The displacement wave of sound look like this in a closed organ pipe, and in an open organ pipe, we have a third overtone. Third overtone, if you remember the open organ pipe, this is the fundamental frequency, right? If I add, this is the fundamental frequency, this is the first overtone frequency, right? Then this is the second overtone frequency, and this is the third overtone frequency. So this is the first overtone in an open organ pipe. If the length is L1 and the pipe length is 30 centimeter, sorry, it is a closed organ pipe. Closed organ pipe, the length is 30 centimeter, and frequency of third overtone of an open organ pipe, suppose the length is L2, I have to calculate that. Now the frequencies are same. I know frequency is the velocity divided by wavelength. In the first case, this wavelength is equal to lambda, so the lambda is equal to L1. And in the second case, this wavelength equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lambda by 4, right? 7 lambda by 4. In the second case, the first case it is lambda 1, and the second case it is lambda 2, right? So the question says that this 7 lambda by 2 is equal to L2. Their frequencies are same. So velocity of sound in both the pipes I am assuming to be same. So velocity divided by wavelength is equal to velocity divided by wavelength. So the only option is lambda 1 equals to lambda 2. So that gives us L1 is equals to 4 L2 by 7. I think the value of L2 is 7 by 4 L1. Right? If I say it is L1 30 centimeter, 7 point something, the options are not matching. If we can again see if we have done any mistake here, organ pipe of length 30 centimeter, closed organ pipe, this is a closed organ pipe, the length is 30 centimeter. So in a closed organ pipe we have this scenario, right? In a closed organ pipe, both the ends will have a node. In an open organ pipe, this is antinode, open end is antinode and closed end is node. This is the first equal to the third overtone. It says that third overtone. So it is the fundamental frequency, right? Then first overtone will look like that. First overtone is 3 lambda by 4, first overtone. Second overtone will be 5 lambda by 4. And third overtone will be 7 lambda by 4. So 7 lambda by 4 is equal to L2. The length of the open organ pipe is, the frequency of first overtone is equal to frequency of the third overtone. Now frequency is velocity by wavelength. In this case, this wavelength is equals to L1 and this is 7 by 4 into lambda is equal to L2. So the value of lambda 2 is 4L2 by 7, I think, right? It's correct. 4L2 by 7. Lambda is 4L2 by 7 and this wavelength is L1. So L2 is equal to 7L1 by 4. I think this is my correct answer. 7 by 4. You should check if there is any calculation mistake and the length is 30. It's near about 50 to 60 centimeter, I think. (105 by 2) 52.5 centimeter. First overtone. I think this question has some option wrong in here, right? You have to check. Okay, let's move to the next question. A particle moves along a straight line OX at time t. The distance x of the particle from O is given by x equal to 40 plus 12t minus tq. How long will the particle travel before coming to rest? Okay. Coming to rest means what? Dx by dt is equal to 0. The velocity of the particle should be 0. So that is 12 minus 3t square is equal to 0, right? So t is equal to 2 seconds, right? T equal to 2 seconds. How long? It says that how long will the particle travel before coming to rest? So after 2 seconds at t equal to 0, the x is 40 and at t equals to 2, the value of x is 40 plus 24 minus 8, right? So it is 40 plus 16. I think 16 meter will be your correct answer for this question, right? Because it is also x0 t equal to 0 and it is x the position at t equal to 2 seconds. The position is 16 centimeter more. So the particle must have traveled 16 centimeter more. 2 point charges are fixed 3 meter apart. A third charge is kept between the two charges so that the net force on it is 0. What is the separation? The separation between the charges Q0 and 4Q is. Okay, so this is 4Q charge and this is Q charge. It says that a third charge is so placed that the net force on it is 0. That means the electric field must be 0 at that point. So I have to find the distance from Q. If this distance is x and this distance is 3 meter, so this is 3 minus x, right? So 4Q into K divided by x square, the electric field must be equals to K into Q divided by 3 minus x whole square, right? If you solve it, then you should get 2 into 3 minus x is equal to x, right? So 3x equals to 6. So the value of x equals to 2 meter, right? Option 1 is your correct choice, right? Easy question. I think you must have done this question. The velocity of kerosene oil in a horizontal pipe is 5 meter per second. If g is 10 meter per second square, what is the velocity head of the oil? Okay. So the velocity head, it is asking for velocity head. half rho v squared is the velocity is given as 5 meter per second. Then what is the velocity head? So half rho v square, if I compare it with rho gh, right, then this height is the velocity head. If g comes here and rho is cancels out, right, so the velocity head will be v square by 2g. V is 5 into 5 divided by 2 into 10. It is asking in meter, so it is 25 by 2, 12.5 by 10, right? I think 1.25 meter is the correct answer for this question, right? Again, option 1 is the correct answer. All right. Moving to the next question, three forces coplanar are acting at a point. The angle between P and Q, Q and R are 150 degree and 120 degree respectively. Then the equilibrium forces P, Q and R are in the ratio. Okay, P, Q are acting at a point. The angle between P and Q, if this vector is P vector, P and Q is 150 degree, right? So this is P vector and this is Q vector, and this angle is 150 degree. It says this angle is 150 degree, P vector and Q vector, and the angle between Q and R is 120 degree, right? Equilibrium, for equilibrium they will form a closed triangle, right? We all know that for equilibrium all the coplanar forces or any number of forces, they will form a closed polygon. So they are forming closed polygon. This vector is, this angle is 120 degree, right? So I know this angle must be 60 degree and this angle is 30 degree, right? And this angle is then 90 degree, right? So I can use a sine rule that q by sine 90 degree, q by sine 90 degree is equals to r by sine 30 degree, r by sine 30 degree is equals to p by sine 60 degree, right? From here you can use the PQ and R ratio, right? So if I say it is K, then P is equal to root 3K by 2, Q is equals to K, and R is equals to K by 2, right? So the ratio of PQR is root 3 is to 2 is to 1. Root 3 is to 2 is to 1. In option 4, it is the correct choice. Okay. Two particles are initially at rest, starts moving towards under mutual force. When the displacement of M1 is x, what is the displacement of their center of mass? Okay, center of mass will not move because they are moving due to their mutual attraction force, and there is no external force on the system. So that is why the center of mass will have zero displacement. Option 1 is very obvious choice for this question. Consider the following statements. Linear momentum of A is 0. Kinetic energy of system A of particles. System A of particles. Okay, there are few particles in the system A. So linear momentum of the system is 0 and kinetic energy of the particles is 0. Okay. 1 implies 2 and 2 implies 1. It is not correct. 1 does not imply 2. Look, if the linear momentum is 0, that means if it is mv and this is mv, so the linear momentum is 0, but kinetic energy is 2 into half mv square, right? But if kinetic energy of the system is 0, kinetic energy of the system is 0 means every particle must be at rest. Every particle must be at rest. Then linear momentum of the system must be 0, right? So 1 does not imply 2 and 2 does not imply 1. 1 implies 2 but 2 does not imply 2. 1 does not imply 2 but 2 implies 1. I think this is the correct option. Moving to the next question. At an instant, the position of a particle is given and the momentum is given. What is the angular momentum? That's a very direct question. You just find angular momentum. Angular momentum as m or r cross p, right? R vector cross p vector. Now r cross p, if you do, then it is minus I cross minus I, it is 0, right? I cross j, it is k, so it is 2k cap, right? And I cross k is minus j, so it is minus j, so it is plus j, right? And k cross I is j, so another j, and k cross j is minus I, so plus 2I, right? It is 2I plus 2j plus 2k, right? So the angular momentum is along, it's neither along x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, it has equal angle with all the three axes because it is 2I, 2j, 2k. Got it, everyone? Two coaxial disks of moment of inertia I1, I2 and angular speeds omega 1, omega 2. Now they are rotating in the same sense about their axis. If the two are made to rotate together along the same axis, the rotational kinetic energy of the system, I think it is talking about the angular momentum conservation principle, that if I am assuming that both were rotating in the same direction initially, so I1 omega 1 plus I2 omega 2, few informations must be missing in this question, right? Rotating in the same sense, it is given, right? Now they two are made to rotate together means I don't think that external some force is there on the system, right? So this must be, this disk has fallen to another disk, and due to the internal friction, now finally they are rotating with the same omega. The question is trying to mean that if the two disks are rotating together means now the new moment of inertia is I1 plus I2, and what will be new omega? That is the new omega. So what is omega? The new omega is equal to I1 omega 1 plus I2 omega 2 divided by I1 plus I2. So what is the kinetic energy together along the same axis? The rotational kinetic energy of the system. Now the rotational kinetic energy is half I omega square. So it is I1 plus I2 into omega square, means I1 omega 1 plus I2 omega 2 square divided by I1 plus I2 whole square. Right? In denominator you will have only one I1 plus I2. So 1 by 2 I1 plus I2. Option 3 is the correct answer for this question. Okay everyone, let's move to the next question. The density of a planet is twice the Earth. The acceleration due to gravity is equal to that on the surface of the Earth. If the radius of the Earth is r, the diameter of the planet will be. Okay, so we know that gravitation at Earth on the surface equal to gm by r square. I should write it in terms of density. It is 4/3 pi r cube into density by r square. So g actually is proportional to rho into r, right? So now if I say that the density is twice the earth, then g remains same, that means the radius must be half. If radius is half, then diameter will be r only. Option 4 is the correct choice. Got it? Let's move to the next question. Young's modulus of a uniform rubber string along of 8 centimeter long and density 1.5 kg per meter cube is 5 into 10 power 8 is suspended from the ceiling. The increase in length due to its own weight. Now Young's modulus of a uniform rubber string 8 centimeter long and density is given, right? So there is a long expression you have to remember, right? But I don't remember those expressions basically, right? So we have to integrate and solve. Okay, so what is this formula? If I say that this is hanging from the ceiling, then at a distance x you move and take a small element dx, then this dx element is actually moving because of this lower portion. The weight of the lower part is equal to mg by L into x, right? Mg is the total weight, and this part only has this much of weight. So this is the tension at that point, and the stress equal to this divided by area. Now this stress equal to Young's modulus into strain. So this small dx part has a elongation dE, suppose. So this by dx. I will integrate this and I will calculate what is the value of total elongation. So this integral of dE is equal to mg by ALY into x dx. X dx integral from 0 to L. It is L square by 2. So it is mgl by 2ay. Got it? So this is the total elongation. The increase in length due to its own weight will be, now you have to calculate it. Young's modulus of a string 8 centimeter long, the length is given, right? Length is 8 centimeter, density is given, right? Density is kg per meter cube. So if I want to write mass as density multiplied by area into L, look, density into area into L, there is another L here, divided by 2ay. So area will get cancelled out, right? Area cancels. Now if it is rho g L square by 2y, right? Look at the dimension, right? Everywhere this constant part is the same, right? You have to only check for which dimension the option matches. And I can say that the dimension of rho is given kg per meter cube. It's 1.5. G I L, I'm taking 10. L square, what is the value of length L? Length L is 8 centimeter, right? 8 centimeter. So it is 64 divided by square means 10 power 4, right? And it is 2 into 1. What is Young's modulus? 5 into 10 power 8. 5 into 10 power 8. Sometimes in your paper, you have to solve this type of a bit lengthy calculations, right? You have to practice, not in every questions, but you have to be ready, mentally ready, and also you have to be ready with your practice, that whenever this type of question comes, we have to be patient and solve, right? The answers are simple, right? But you have to solve it. Now you can see it is 15 divided by 5, so this entire thing cancels with 3, and it is 3 and this is 32, right? So this is 96 into 10 power minus 12. So of course it's 9.6 into 10 power minus 11 meter, right? I was guessing for the minimum value because 9.6 is obvious not the answer, because it is 8 centimeter. How can it be 9.6 meter, right? That is also means practically logical, but okay, you can solve it, right? Sound wave cannot be polarized. Polarization occurs only for transverse wave. Yes, polarization occurs only for transverse wave. It is correct. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation for A. Right? I think option A I will mark, because sound wave is a longitudinal wave and it is a transverse wave where polarization happens. So that is why option A I will mark. A car moves from X to Y with uniform speed Vu and returns with Vd. Average speed in this round trip. So if the car moves a distance X with Vu, then the time is X by Vu, and returns with Vd, then the time is X by Vd. What is average? Average is equal to total distance to X divided by total time. X by Vu plus X by Vd, right? So your answer is 2 V1 V2 by V1 V2, right? 2 V1 V2 divided by V1 plus V2. Option A is the correct answer for this question. Let's move to the next question. At a given temperature, the pressure of ideal gas is proportional to pressure of ideal gas, and Pm equals to rho RT, right? That is the expression. So pressure is directly proportional to density. Option 4 is the correct answer. It's a direct formula based question. A simple pendulum, a simple harmonic motion about origin x equal to 0 with an amplitude a and time period t. The speed at x equal to a by 2. You know, the formula for speed v equals to omega root under a square minus x square, right? What is omega? Omega is 2 pi by time period is given, and root over of a square minus at x equal to a by 2 means a square by 4. So it's 3 a square by 4, so that means 2 root 3 pi by 2t, right? So I think it is root 3 pi by t, root 3 pi by t. Sorry, a is there, root 3 pi a, root 3 pi a by t, root 3 pi a by t. Yes, option A is there, right? 2 gets cancelled, root 3 pi a by t, option A is there. Okay. Intensity of electric field due to a dipole depends on distance. Intensity of electric field depends 1 by r cube, right? You all know it's 2 kp by r cube and kp by r cube. It's along this 2 kp by r cube, along this minus kp by r cube. So it's 1 by r cube. Option 2 is the correct choice. Let's move to the next question. The electric field due to an electric dipole at a distance r from the center in axial position is E. So this is dipole at a distance r from the center, it's E, and I know E is equal to 2 kp by r cube. Okay. Next line says that if the dipole is rotated 90 degree about its perpendicular bisector, what is the electric field at the same position? Now the dipole is rotated here, so what will be the electric field at this position? It is minus kp by r cube. So minus kp by r cube is E by 2. Option C is the correct. Option 3 is the correct choice for this question. Okay, students, so you have seen that the questions are pretty conceptual, and the questions are directly from the exact formula. So you have to remember those formula. In physics, there are lots of formula. You have to revise those formula again for your upcoming exams. Okay, let's move to the next question. What it says, if the electric field is 0 at a point, then the electric potential should be necessarily 0 at that point. Assume the potential is 0 at infinity. It is not, if the electric field is 0 at any point, then electric potential should be necessarily 0 at that point. I don't think it is true, because if you take a conductor, right, infinity is 0, conductor has some charge on it. What is electric field inside? 0. But is the potential inside 0? No, the potential inside is the conductor potential, so it is not 0. Option statement 1 is wrong. Both the statements are true. Both the statements are true. These are not correct. Statement 1 is true, so statement 1 is false. Option 4 is correct. Electric field is 0 at midpoint between two equal and like charges. Option 1 is false. Option 2 is true is the correct answer for this question. A small sphere falls from rest in a viscous liquid. As a result, heat is produced. The rate of production of heat when the sphere attains terminal velocity. Okay, now you know that when the sphere attains its terminal velocity, the rate of heat is power. The rate of heat, the power, it is talking about the power. Power is proportional to force into velocity. Right. Now the force, I know that viscous force equal to 6 pi eta RV, right, eta RV, right. So the force is proportional to R into V. So the power is proportional to R into V square. So power is proportional to R into V square. Now the V, if you remember that the terminal velocity, right, how do I find terminal velocity? We find terminal velocity when 6 pi eta RV, this velocity is equals to the, it balances the weight and the buoyant force, right? Weight means mg minus buoyant force, rho v and g, right? Rho v and g, right? Now m is equals to say this is mg minus sigma vg. I do not remember the formula actually. I do not remember means very lengthy formula, but we can derive, right? It's hardly about some time. So it is rho minus sigma into vg. V is 4/3 pi r cube into g. Now you can see that here this r and there is r cube. So velocity terminal is proportional to r square. If it is proportional to r square, then r into v square is proportional to r to the power 5. Option 4 is your correct answer. Got it? If you do not remember any formula, then please practice this type of means derivations, right? The derivations are very important. Formula, look, if you remember, it's fine, but at any time it may happen that some stress is there in your exam, so you forget the formula, or you do not remember correctly. It's better to derive it. Take two minutes, take 1 minute of time or 30 seconds of time. You can derive this and you can go to the next question. A resistance is connected across the left gap of a meter bridge, right, of a wire 100 centimeter. And unknown resistance is connected across the right gap. Okay, when these resistors are interchanged, the balance point shifts right side by 20 centimeter. Neglecting corrections, the unknown resistance is. So the meter bridge is nothing but a Wheatstone bridge. It says that if the resistance 2 ohm is connected in left and x ohm is connected in the right, right, and unknown resistance S is connected across the right gap. Suppose in this case, the null point is found here. Null point is found, this is L and this is 100 minus L. Now it says that when these resistors are interchanged, balance point shifts right side by 20 centimeter. That means I can say from the first diagram that 2 by x equal to 2 by L equal to x by 100 minus L. And in the second case, if I interchange them, that I place x here and 2 here, then this L will become L plus 20 and this becomes 80 minus L. Right? So x by 20 plus L is equal to 2 by 80 minus L. What I have to calculate? I have to calculate the unknown resistance x. Right? So what we can do? Look, L is not known, so I have to equate L in both the sides, right? So it is 200 minus 2L is equal to x into L, right? So the L is equal to 200 by 2 plus x, and in this case, 160 minus XL is equal to 40 plus 2L, right? So L is equals to 120 by 2 plus x. I'll equate them, right? 2 plus x. Is it correct? Unknown resistance. L plus 20, it shifts right side by 20 centimeter. It is 80 minus L. So 80x minus XL. I have made one mistake here. It should be 80x. X into 80 minus x into L equals to 40 plus 2L. So if I take L common in one side, so 2 plus XL is equals to 80x minus 40, right? Is equal to 80x minus 40. So in denominator we will have 80x minus 40. Now if I compare this to 80x minus 40 equal to 200, 80x minus 40 equals to 200, so x equal to 3. That is the answer. 3 ohm is the correct answer for this question. Got it? Let's move to the next question. A bar magnet and pole strength is kept in a uniform magnetic field of 15 Weber per meter square, making an angle 30 degree with the field. What is the couple or torque acting on it. If it is a bar magnet and its dipole moment I have to calculate. Dipole moment is pole strength into the length. So 5 into 0.2, that is 1, right? Dipole moment is this one, and magnetic field is 15, right? And 30 degree with the field. So what is the torque? Torque is equal to P cross E, mu cross E, whatever you say. It is field into dipole moment into sine 30 degrees. 7.5 Newton meter is the correct answer for this question. Got it? In the circuit, an ammeter, a voltmeter, V are ideal. Ammeter, a voltmeter, V are ideal. The reading of the ammeter, reading of the voltmeter, charge stored in the capacitor, rate of heating. So many things are there. Let's see if it is an ideal state, means steady state condition. In steady state condition, then there should not be any current flowing through the capacitor, right? So I can say that the current is 2245. The current everywhere is equal to 3 by 4 and 1 5, right? 3 by 5 ampere is the current. So the ammeter here, 3 by 5 ampere is the current, right here. Now you have to understand one thing. Here the ammeter is connected in parallel. If I connect ammeter in parallel, then the current will not flow in this resistance. Ammeter has a very small resistance, so the current will directly flow here. So the current is equal to 3 by 3 1 ampere current, right? 1 ampere current. The current is 1 ampere. The reading of ammeter is not the correct answer, right? It is 2 volt is the reading of voltmeter. That is not correct. Charge stored in the capacitor, if it is 1 and this is 1, then this is also 1 volt. So charge stored is equal to 1 microcoulomb is the correct answer for my question. Got this? When a current changes from 2 to 4 in 0.05, a coil induced EMF is 8 volt. What is the self inductance? We know that induced EMF is L into di by dt, right? So induced EMF is 8 volt and L into di by dt is equal to 2 by 0.05, right? So the L is equal to 8 into 0.05 divided by 2. So it is 0.4 by 2, 0.2 Henry. Option 2 is the correct choice. Mutual inductance L1 L2 is proportional to, mutual inductance of two coils is proportional to root over of L1 L2. Mutual inductance is some coupling factor into root over of L1 by L1 into L2. That is the correct answer. Okay, let's move to the next question. In a series resistance RLC circuit, if L is increased by 25% and C decreased by 20%, then the new resonant frequency will. Okay, I think the resonant frequency, if you see, it's omega L is equal to 1 by omega C. So omega square is equal to 1 by LC. So the resonant frequency says that it's 1 by root L into C. Right now, if L is increased by 25%, right, new resonant frequency is 2 pi f, whatever it is, they are same thing. If the L increases by 25%, that means if it was 100, it's 125, 1.25 L, and C decreased by 20%, that means it is 0.8 C. What is the new resonant frequency? It is, I think it is 2, right? 1 by root over of what is 1.25? 1.25 is 5 by 4 into 8 by 10, 4 by 5. Oh, this is same. It's 5 by 4 and it's 4 by 5. Okay, so it's on 1 by LC. it remains unchanged. Option 3 is the correct choice. Got it? What is the RMS value of alternating current when passed through a resistor produces heat which is thrice? What is the RMS value of an AC current when passes through a resistor produces heat which is thrice as that of produced by a direct current of 2 ampere in the same resistor? So 2 ampere current in the resistors produces heat I square into R, and 3 times of this is produced by I RMS square into R. So RR gets cancelled out. I RMS is equals to 2 root 3, right? Root 3 is 1.7, so it's 3.46. Option 3 is the correct choice for this question. When a uniform string is divided into 3 segments of length L1, L2, L3, the fundamental frequencies are nu1, nu2, nu3 respectively. The fundamental frequencies of the string of length L1 plus L2 plus L3 is nu. Okay, so we have to even calculate when string is divided into 3 segments. When a uniform string is divided into 3 segments L1, L2, L3, the fundamental frequencies. What is fundamental frequency? I'm again assuming both the ends are fixed. So the fundamental frequency, this is the fundamental waveform looks like, right? Fundamental frequency is this lambda by 2 is equal to L. So the wavelength equals to 2L. So the frequency is equal to V by 12. Fundamental frequency is V by 12. So frequency 1 is equal to V by 2L1, nu 2 is equal to V by 2L2, like that, and nu 3 is equal to V by 2L3. And what is the fundamental frequency nu? That is V divided by 2 into L1 plus L2 plus L3, right? So what I can say? I can say that 1 by nu is equal to 2 L1 by V. 2 L1 by V is 1 by nu 1 plus 2 L2 by V is 2 L2 by V is 1 by nu 2 plus 1 by nu 3. I think option 1 is the correct choice for this question. Have you understood, students? The new value of the frequency is equal to V divided by 2 into total length, and individual frequencies are this one. So if you can modify them, you will get this equation. A particle moves in a straight line with a constant acceleration. It changes its velocity from 10 to 20 while passing through a distance 135 minute in t second. Right? So its velocity changes from 10 to 20, and the distance while passing through a distance of 135 meter. Right? So I can say V is equal to u plus at, but acceleration is not known. So what I will use? I can use v square equal to u square plus twice into a into acceleration, a into displacement 135. So I'll get acceleration from here. Acceleration is equal to 400 minus 100. It's 300 divided by 2 into 135. And what is the time? I can say v equals to u plus at. So the time is equals to 10 by a. Right? It's 10 by a is 300 by 2 into 135. 310, 345. Right? So it's 9. Option 4 is your correct choice for this question. A far-sighted person has a near point of 50 centimeters, right? A far-sighted person means the person can see the longer distance, right? The far-sighted person has a near point of 50 centimeter. In general, the near point is 25 centimeter, right? But the person cannot see closer to 50 centimeter distance, right? Power of the lens he should use to see 25 centimeter clearly. So that if it is a lens, the person has to see this 50 centimeter object in 25 centimeters, right? So if u is equal to minus 50, v is equal to minus 25, I can use 1 by v, 1 by v minus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f. That is my power. So 1 by f equals to 1 by 50 minus 1 by 25. So it is minus 1 by 50, right? If it is in centimeter, right? So focal length is equal to minus 50 centimeter is equal to minus half meter. So the power is minus 2 diopter. Minus 2 diopter is the power. Power is equals to power of the lens should be. Have we got a correct calculation? Far-sighted person has a near point of 50 centimeters. That means the person cannot see any distance closer than 50 centimeters. The focal length so u is equal to minus 50 centimeters. Sorry. The I have interchanged u and v. My objective is to send this 25 centimeter object to this 50 centimeter image. Then the person can see actually, right? So the object distance is 25. U is equal to minus 25 and v is equal to minus 50. My bad. You have to understand this. U equal to minus 25 and v equal to minus 50. If u is equal to minus 25 and v equal to minus 50, then my calculation goes like this. 1 by v minus 1 by u. So 1 by f is equal to 1 by 25 minus 1 by 50. So it is 2 by 50 minus 1 by 50. 1 by 50 is so focal length is equal to half meter and the power is equal to 2 diopter. So plus 2 is the correct option. Yes, right? Minus 2 is not the correct option. Plus 2 diopter is the correct answer. Got my point? A telescope has an objective lens diameter situated at a distance of 1 kilometer from the two objects. The minimum separation which can resolve by the telescope when the mean wavelength is in order. So you can understand there is a formula that theta is equals to 1.2 lambda by b, right? And the distance, the minimum distance between two objects, when objective lens of 10 centimeter diameter situated 1 kilometer. So if this is 1 kilometer, right, 1000 meter, L equals to 1000 meter, and this angle is theta, right? So this distance minimum is equal to L theta. Distance is equal to L theta, right? L is equal to 1000 and theta is equal to 1.2 into lambda. The value of lambda is given 5000 Armstrong, right? You convert it, right? 5000 Armstrong, right? So it is 5 into 10 power 3 into 10 power minus 10, right? Armstrong divided by B. B is the diameter of the lens, right? It is 10 centimeter, right? So 0.1 meter. I'm leaving this for your calculation. You can calculate this and get your answer. If in Young's experiment, separation between the slit is gradually increased, Young's experiments, the separation is gradually increased. Separation between the slits, fringe width will increase what is fringe width? Fringe width equals to lambda into capital lambda into small d by capital D by small d, right? Fringe width. Have we got it correct? Fringe width lambda into, I think it's small d by capital D. Yes. Lambda into capital D by small d. That is the fringe width. So my options are, if the separation between the slits is increasing, right? If small d increases, then width decreases. Fringe width decreases, right? And finally, fringes disappear. Fringe width decreases. Fringe width remains constant, fringes become blurred, and so the option 2 is the correct choice, right? Two conducting rods, same cross section area connected in series parallel. In both combination, the temperature difference is 100 degrees centigrade. If the thermal conductivity is 3K and B is K, then the ratio of heat current in parallel combination to the series combination. Okay, heat current, if I say that there is a resistance, thermal resistance is 1 by K into L by A, right? Now look, L and area both are same, right? So the resistance is inversely proportional to K. So if I say that if this resistance is R, suppose this resistance must be 3R, right? This is 3R. So I can say that in parallel combination, and what is the current? Current is equal to temperature difference divided by resistance, right? Temperature difference is also same. So current is proportional to, if I say current in both the cases is 100 divided by thermal resistance. So in parallel, the current is 100 divided by 4R, and in series, the current is 100. Sorry, in parallel it's not 4R. Parallel resistance will be 3R by 4, and in series it is 4R. So the question says, what is the ratio parallel to series, right? So it is 4R into 4 by 3R. 16 by 3 is the correct choice for this question. Got it? De Broglie wavelength of an electron through a potential difference V is 1 point. De Broglie wavelength accelerated through a potential V. There is a formula you should remember. Again, I don't exactly remember the formula, but it is, I think, root over of 150 divided by V, something like that. So if you do it, root over of 150 by V, what is root 150? 1.22 nanometer or meter. You can check the calculations, right? Because it's a purely memory based question, because root over 150 by V, I think it is in Armstrong. As far as I remember, it's in Armstrong. It is in nanometer. Its Armstrong means it into 10 power minus 10. If it has to be nanometer, 150 by V into 10 power minus 9 by 10 means I will take it inside. So root over of 1.5, root over of 1.5 by V a nanometer, right? So I think this is the answer. Root over of 1.5 must be 1.227. So option A is the correct answer for this question. Okay, work function of different metals are listed below. The number of metals which will show photoelectric effect when light of 300 nanometer wavelength falls on the metal. Right, again it's a calculation based question, because we know that it is work function, its work function has to be less than 8c by lambda. Right, now these are given. hc by lambda, I think it is 12420 divided by 300, right, nanometer, or I think it is in Armstrong. I have to convert it into nanometer, so I have to divide it by another 10. Right, into 1 by 10 nanometer. So it's near about, you can see, 4.14. It's something like 4.14 nanometer. Right, so if the work function is less than that, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.14, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think option 4 is the correct choice for this question. If the binding energy of an electron is 13.6, the energy required to remove the electron from the first excited state of lithium double plus. Okay, first excited state is 13.6. 13.6. Lithium is, I think, Z is 3. So 9 by n square. First excited state means n equal to 2. Right? So that must be the answer. Right? It is 3, 27 to 30, near about. Option 4 should be the correct choice. What else? A force 10 Newton acts on a body of mass 20 kg for 10 seconds. What is the impulse? Impulse is integral of f dt. So force 10 Newton acts for 10 seconds. So 100 kg meter per second is the impulse. A car moves on a circular track 20 meter. If the coefficient of friction, then the maximum speed the car can move. Okay, I'm assuming the car is moving with constant speed, right? There is no acceleration. Then mv square by r should be completely balanced by friction, which has a maximum value of mu mg. So the value of v must be less than or equals to root over of mu r g, right? The mu value is given, r is given, g is given, g is 10, so 200 and 64. So I think it is 8 root 2, something like that, 1.4. It should be 311.2 meter per second, right? If it is mu is 0.64, 64 by 100, and r is equal to 20, g is 10. So it is 8 root 2. I think option 3 is the correct choice. Find the work done by the force to displace from 0 to 2 meter where A is 1 and B is also 1. So work done is integral of f dot dx. I will integrate it. A into x dx means x square by 2 plus B into x cube dx means x power 4 by 4. So it is 1 by 2 into, you put the limit, right? Put the limit from 0 to 2. 0 to 2 means 2 square plus 1 by 4 into 2 to the power 4, right? So it is 2 plus 16 by 4 means 4. I think it is 6 joule, which is the correct answer for this question. A rotating wheel changes angular speed 1800 to 3000 in 20 seconds. Angular acceleration is, so final angular speed is equal to initial angular speed plus alpha into t. You can get your answer from there. Alpha is equal to 150 minus 9060, right? It is omega. Acha, it says that angular speed in rpm is given. rpm means rotation per minute, right? So into 2 pi radian by 60 per second. It is also 2 pi by 60 per second. So it is also into 2 pi by 60 radian per second square. So I think it is 2 pi radian per second square, which is the correct answer. The escape speed from Earth is v if the radius of Earth contracts of its value, keeping the mass constant. What is the escape velocity? Now escape velocity is root over of gm by r. Now it says that mass remains constant but radius is 1/4. Then escape velocity will be double of the original, right? So escape velocity will be double because r by 4 will get into the numerator. So the answer will be root 4 2 times. In the steady state, the charge stored in the capacitor will be, okay, in steady state there will be no current in the capacitor, right? So the current will be 2 and 3. These will carry current 2.8. So it is 6 by 5, that means 1.2 plus 2.8, 4 by 4. The current is 1. The current is 1. The current is 1 ampere. Then this is 1.2 volt basically. This is 1.2 volt, 1.2 volt, and this voltage will also appear across this. So it is 1.2 microcoulomb, which is the correct answer for this question. Let's go for the last question. A uniform chain is lying on a table with 1/4 length freely hanging from the edge, right? So if this is the table, then 1/4 length is hanging from the table. What is work done in dragging the chain? So what is the potential energy? 1/4 means I can say this mass is m by 4, right? But its center of mass is at a height L by 8, right? So mg into h. This is minus, this is the potential energy. If I take it 0, it is the initial potential energy, and final potential energy when the entire chain is on the table, it is 0. So work done is equal to U final minus U initial, and that is equal to mgl by 32. Option 3 is the correct answer for this question. Okay. So can you see, students, that if you have a proper practice, you can solve this question in less than 1 hour or maybe 1 hour or 1 hour 10 minutes of time. That is sufficient. You will get this much time in your upcoming NEET exam. All the best. I am very much sure you are going to come up with very, very good result. Thank you.